You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers, so let's get started with Nico.
Ryan, what the heck? This is Nico in Idaho.
What's up, dude?
Driving home from a lovely night's work. And I was thinking, so I'm getting caught up on all my podcasts. I was gone for 5 days up north. I should send you some pictures. It's so freaking beautiful up there.
Good,
and I know I called something, called about this kind of sort of the other day, and it hasn't hit the airwaves yet, so I don't remember what I said. So if I do repeat myself, I'm sorry. But I was thinking about our defense, because, obviously, and I think I did mention this, it's hard to tell whether or not a defensive lineman or offensive lineman is good during the first, the pajama football season, because they don't do a lot of hitting. But I think it's not the same as the receivers and the cornerbacks, the safeties and such, that they can almost do everything they do without the pads, save, leveling a dude, a la Cam Chancellor. It seems to be a lot of people are kind of saying Bullard is really kind of taking a step. And I'm a big proponent of a good safety group. It's really good to have a great one and some helpers. I think we got 3 good ones. I mean, McKinney, I know he had a big splash when his first year here. If you notice, his INTs fell off. I don't know if that's because he got worse or they just stopped throwing his direction. But, a lot of times when you don't hear the name of your safety, that's a good thing.
Yep. Because
he ain't getting burned. He's just not getting thrown to, and he's sort of canceling out whoever he's guarding. But with Bullard and the other guy whose name I can't remember, who's young, Anderson, is it? And McKinney, I think we might have one of the best safety groups. Even like Bears fans, when they, the list of the top players in the NFC North, they put McKinney up as the best, And every time we won a Super Bowl, we had Butler, and then the second Super Bowl was the other guy that I forget who wore the same number, who had the pick six, got hurt. And then honestly, when he got hurt and didn't play, I think the next year, I think that's when our defense became a revolving door. It became one of those Western doors, just swings open and shut. I mean, we just couldn't. The whole defense sucked, and I really think that a good safety, and heck, even better, a safety group can be a good bottleneck for a defense. Hang on.
Part 2 for Nico.
Which I think is another way, another reason why we're not going to go 0-4 until Parsons gets back. One, we're going to have the full effect of the offense, I believe. I mean, Kraft and Watson on the field at once is a cheat code. And I think the safety group is going to help the defense, Hopefully, if we could just keep people under like 15 points and our offense just scores like 30 or 40, right? That's all I want in life. I mean, hello, am I alone for that? But seriously, and I think once Parsons gets back, I really think it's going to be week 5. Some other folks online that know stuff are saying he'll probably be ready by 2 or 3, and then should play with a little bit of practice, involved on the Bears game. What a great way to break him in. A couple sacks on Mr. Fingernails. But like I said, once he gets back, I think that's going to change everything. And teams are going to have to reel in our defense, because now you don't have 3.5 seconds to throw. You got like 2, 1.9. So just really looking forward to it. By the way, hey, what was up with Sal whispering? I was going to use this line from Sal, because I'm just a large man who sits on the couch and watches football and screams till my blood pressure monitor starts beeping. But he was whispering. It's like he was going to break into a Barry White song. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of which, talk about Sal. Does anyone else think it's funny how he tells you what he predicted 2 years ago and 3 years ago for the Packers? I was sitting there and I'm almost, oh, really? Like, wait a minute. Hello. Sal wasn't around. But then I got to thinking, Ryan, I know Sal's your creation. I mean, you think he is. But what if Sal was already around? What if, because AI's obviously been in beta modes, and I'm sure before it came to us, it was even larger for other people that, maybe Sal has always been around. He's been around for 3-4 years, and he was maybe hiding in the back of the programming because I can't come out now, right? And he was a big Packers fan, and then when you kind of were asking whichever AI Sal, like, whoop, there's my boy. And so thank you, Ryan, for bringing Sal out of the shadows. I think maybe Sal's been around for like 10 years. You never know. But I think it's funny how Sal does that. Anyways, I'm at mass rambling stage right now. So let me get some gas in the truck. And then we'll just say, go Pack Go.
That's what they call in the video game community headcanon. There's certain parts that aren't explained or maybe you don't fully understand. And you kind of just fill in the blanks yourself as far as how this all came to pass and whatnot. So just go ahead and call that your headcanon on how that whole thing came to be. I caught that a couple times. I didn't super care. I didn't think it was like we have to redo this. He certainly had opinions, prior to having a podcast. So there you go. There's your explanation. Well, I mean, as far as the safety group, I'm definitely with you. I'm a big fan of it. I do think we have one of the better safety groups. I had mentioned, as you probably heard on, I don't know, yesterday's podcast or something, the fact that we should probably pay McKinney now-ish. It's always surprising to me because I think of him as being like an older veteran when we got him, and it feels like he's been here for a long time. So it's like he's got to be, 29-ish. He's 27, dude. He's ready for another big contract. I mean, potentially could be 2 more contracts depending on how this all plays out. He's a young buck. So, I think we got a great group there. And it's those things that can be annoying because we spend so much time worrying about what we don't have and how we're in big trouble and all that. We don't have Micah, so we can't win, which doesn't make any sense because we've go to the playoffs every year and have not had Micah. So I don't know where that's coming from other than just the fact that last year it didn't go very well without Micah, probably because we had him and then we lost him. And in addition to him, we lost Tucker. And I mean, I was just looking at the today. It's like Jaden Reed played like 5 minutes this past year. I was confused almost because I was looking at wide receivers and he didn't show up. And it's like because there was a filter. I'm like, well, it's not a very strong filter. And it's like, yeah, he didn't hardly play freaking at all. So, losing Tucker and losing Zach Tom and all the injuries and everything really started to pile up. And you could tell it piled up psychologically for them. Putting that all on Micah Parsons as though we are a crap team that suddenly is very good with Micah is weird. And I don't know how you back that up with any amount of evidence given what we just talked about. But this should be a very, very good football team. And like you said, I'm starting to become more of a skeptic and thinking he will come back a little bit later. And I want to talk about that maybe. Well, it won't be on tomorrow's podcast because that's already recorded, maybe in a couple days. Because that kind of flared up again, and his brother, everybody started talking about like his brother made these comments, and now there's like this. I saw this Bears fan video saying Packers fans are in shambles because he might not be back until week 8. It's like, dude, that's been speculated for at least several weeks now. I don't know what new popped up that you think is some kind of a big thing. You guys all missed it apparently. We've already been saying that, dude. But it flared up again and then became some kind of it actually caught wind like nationally. And then Bears, Vikings, Lions fans all freaked out as though we were going to be crying. Look at him cry. It's like, dog, we already knew about the situation. But anywho, I was looking into the timeline a little bit, and I don't know. The biggest question really is going to be whether or not he's going to need some ramp-up time and how much ramp-up time there's going to be. If it's like you're clear and you get to practice this week and then immediately play, then it's going to be, in other words, first time putting pads on, you practice on Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, however they do their practice, and then game day. Are they going to do that, or is it he's going to practice this week, he's going to practice next week, and then he'll practice that third week and then play that following Sunday kind of thing? If that's the case, then we're looking half the season gone. So it's, there's a hard 9-month rule. I mean, this is basically the whole thing I was going to talk about on the podcast, but there's a hard 9-month rule for anything, including practice, like putting pads on and practicing. At least that's the understanding. And that changes the dynamic, because I've heard some people say, well, he can start practicing like week 3 or 4 or something and then be back in time for the night. No, that we're including practice in this. So that's going to be the big question. But yeah, generally and genuinely do agree with the sentiment. I think we got a good team. I think we're about to have a great team, and I'm excited for this year. And as we talked about the last couple days, and then specifically tomorrow with the mock draft and everything, certainly the future looks quite bright. So make sure you tune into that. How's that for a little salesmanship? Batman, what's going on? I don't have my freaking buttons up, but you can do the thing.
Hey, Ryan, Bruce.
Oh, it's Bruce.
Man, I've come to a realization that I just need the season to start, because I keep going down these rabbit holes, and it's not just Caleb Williams and how awesome he is. And I throw out stats, and I run into people, Bears fans, obviously. I have not seen any Lions fans at all this offseason, which is really...
I'm genuinely annoyed, and I'm going to have to take some time to just seek it out, because I have a list a mile long of Bears fans, Bears comments, Bears articles, Bears hype. I've got probably 10 different things about Caleb MVP. Caleb's the most feared quarterback in the NFC North. I mean, I have more content on Caleb alone than probably Packers, much less everything. And it's like the material is everywhere, but the Vikings, it's not that crazy. I mean, I go through what they talk about, and it's like, that's all pretty reasonable. I mean, it's a little, most of it is like a little bit fan-centric, but nothing that I'm going to make a podcast like trashing you over. It's the same level of pod-centric content that I would put out there. It's going to be a little biased, obviously, but not just stupid. I don't know. I agree.
Weird. Vikings fans have always kind of been off in the distance. And I just need the season to start to kind of prove everything that we've been talking about this offseason, because literally there are just no sticky stats. I mean, I literally go in there, and we are simpatico, my friend, because I was literally just talking about this whole stupid volume thing with Jordan Love. Like in my head, like, how do I counter this? Like, they stop talking about Matt LaFleur being conservative. He is not conservative, man. Jordan Love.
Well, it's funny because I exactly what you're about to say and exactly what I said. Everybody knows that they're extremely aggressive. And I just listened to a podcast. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I don't know if it was the Mina Kimes one or if it was the PFF guys, but they were like, oh, you know how like aggressive Jordan Love is, and they're always pushing the ball down the field. And then they even pivoted to, and that may be Matt LaFleur and the game plan, but you still got to have a quarterback willing to do it. And it's like everybody else out there knows what the Packers are. It's only Packer fans that want to find a reason to hate on Matt LaFleur that have come up with this weird, universe in which Matt LaFleur is conservative and reining in this offense, and he just wants to run all the time. We have like the most aggressive passing offense every year. I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody is complaining about how he wasn't taking what the defense would give him, and he's so aggressive. And yeah, he is. And if you look at his numbers, they're phenomenal, man. And they've gotten better, and he's consistent, which is what we were asking for 2 years ago. And then, of course, injuries come in, and you start dealing with the kind of backlash of, can he stay on the field? Well, yeah. And when he's on there, great. And then they go to last year, and they talk about passing volume. So first off, you need to look at game script. There's always like these caveats that you're dealing with all of these things with any type of play calling. But to say that Jordan loves volume and that he's holding him back, no, he's not. He's freaking pushing the ball down the field plus 20 yards, like as much as he possibly can. And it's all within the structure of what Matt LaFleur's asking him to do.
Right. You think Christian Watson is open down the field by accident? By the way, we are an incredibly aggressive offense, and that's with Musgrave not developing the way we want him to, and Musgrave being injured, and Christian Watson being injured all the time. We got frickin' Romeo Doubs going out taking deep shots down the field because that's all we frickin' have to work with. Do you understand how much more aggressive we're going to be if Christian Watson was on the field all the time? I mean, it's going, and by the way, I'm the one that's been on this show all the time saying, would you please stop? Every play doesn't need, and I've been saying this since Rodgers and McCarthy. Please just stop. Stop every single play, always having to take a shot. I mean, the McCarthy-Rodgers thing was genuinely, it was way worse than what this is. This is a little bit more preferential, I guess. That was 4th and 1, or 3rd and 1. Take a shot, 4th and 1, take a shot. It's like, bro, you could have snuck the ball across the line, for crying out loud. But no, it's such a stupid, I don't know. It's people just take little things and they blow it up. And again, everybody has to have somebody to blame. And it can't be Jordan. And so it's got to be LaFleur. That's basically it.
But I just need the season to start, man, because every single time somebody comes out with something, there's always a counter, and I need to take off my biased Packers hat and just kind of say, yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens, because, yeah, what you said about us sucking, well, yeah, we could. It's possible the Packers can suck, but when you dig into it, it's less likely that they're going to suck, just like it's more likely that Caleb is going to regress. Sure. If he wasn't good in the first place, like, yeah, there's a couple things he does great. Okay, fantastic. But for the majority, it's not something that's sustainable. Consistency makes you great. Jordan Love has reached that top 10, close to top 5% consistency. Caleb has not, and I don't see it happening. Just, I need the season to start, man. Good. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's always the same.
I'm with you. I mean, we're having the same arguments over and over again, and the problem is, and this is kind of what I was talking about before, where it's like we're just talking, we have different people with different personalities, and we're talking past each other. The stats people know the stats. We know the numbers. We know what the numbers say about Jordan and how good he is. We know what the numbers say about Caleb, which some of which are positive. However, of the positive ones, there are also situations where these are highly likely to regress. So there's some concern there, right? These are what numbers people are looking at. And by the way, that with the Bears, it's not just, in my mind anyways, you're going to regress and you're going to suck. That's not my contention on the situation. My contention is there are things that are likely to regress. Maybe they won't, but they're very likely to statistically. Now, the question, it's not just a done deal at that point. The question then becomes, how much can you compensate for that by growing in other areas? Because if Caleb can become a better pocket passer, if he can do what Bears fans just assume he's going to do, which is grow in this offensive system, he's just going to do what Justin Fields never could. which is the ability to process faster, to see the guy coming open, to be able to hit the open guy, not stand there and hold the ball all day long and then escape a sack, get outside and throw the ball away, or throw the ball to somebody, heave-ho it with no feet on the ground, crazy arm strength, the whole thing, highlight reel throw down the field, usually to a wide open guy, but either way, a very impressive throw. That kind of stuff is going to go away. So can you grow in the other areas? And if he can, they're probably going to be a good offense. And the Bears fans are going to be right. I mean, they're technically not going to be right because they got to the conclusion the wrong way. But whatever, they're going to end up being correct either way. That they at least broke even, if not actually improve. And honestly, I'm more scared of that. This fluky bull crap, keep it. This fourth down comebacks, it's too fluky to be consistent anyways. It's too fluky to, if you want to keep it, keep it. Because it's not something that I think is going to get you a Super Bowl. What I'm genuinely scared of is the growth underneath it. That's kind of like with the McKinney thing. Our defense was dog crap, and McKinney was saving it with all the picks. Now, eventually the picks went away, but what grew underneath was a better defense. Guys started understanding the defense, and everyone kind of got bummed out like, oh, man, what happened to all the picks? And yeah, it was a lot of not throwing to him and all that stuff. Nico, I think, was the one that mentioned that. But it also was just, the growing underneath it. And that's what the Bears need to do. And that's what the Bears can do. And if they do, yeah, they're going to be freaking dangerous. Defense or not. Which, by the way, that's the other side of it. Their defense is probably going to improve, just kind of as a regression in the other direction. Although, actually, that's not really true because they had a bunch of picks and stuff or whatever. I was just thinking they were so bad, they're probably bound to bounce back a little bit. But actually, that's not necessarily true. But yeah, I'm not just trying to be a homer. I will acknowledge that it's entirely possible they get better. But again, the point is the numbers, people know the numbers. We know what the situation is. We generally agree on the situation. The non-numbers, gut feeling, tummy time people, they're all just going to have their feelings and they're going to do the whole, everybody knows. They generally all believe that Caleb is an ascending quarterback. He's extremely dangerous. He's getting better. This is his second year in the system, which means he's going to get better because that's what tummy time people think. It's not really a statistical thing, but they don't like numbers because they've ruined the game and it ruins tummy time. I'm going to call it that forever, by the way. I will continue to be condescending and rude about it. But, that's just, the Jordan is not really, he's certainly not a top 3 guy. He's not a top 5 guy. Maybe he's a top 10 guy, but he's too inconsistent and all that. This is all the tummy time stuff. It's what all the people have kind of come to a consensus to believe. And you can give all the stats you want. And this is why it's a waste of our time and why it's so frustrating. Because I give you evidence and you say that doesn't count. And I give you more evidence and you say, well, that doesn't count. Well, PFF is stupid and EPA is stupid. Well, these things don't tell you. There's nothing left to do other than to, like you said, just put it on the field, man. We'll see how it goes. And I will come back before we take a break. I will come back to my evergreen analogy of blackjack. The bottom line is this, and this is where it becomes frustrating. You and I, Batman Bruce, are correct. But that doesn't mean we're going to be right. There's too many variables that we can't account for. So again, if the cards come up and you have 18, you and I are saying, don't hit that. It's entirely possible for the tummy time people to come up and say, I'm going to hit it. And they get, a 2. And it ended up being a good decision. Does that mean they were right? No, it does not. They were wrong. And this is what the tummy time people they won't even agree with this. I'm guessing most of them won't. This is kind of how can I not be super condescending? Let's just say it's a good thing if you understand this. Process over results. Because process will give you better results over time. The point isn't that I was right, therefore I was right. The bigger issue is that if you do that over and over and over again into infinity, you will lose way more often than you will win. It is a bad long-term strategy. It's why professional blackjack players would never, ever do what you just did. Not because they don't think it can happen once in a while, not because they don't understand the discomfort of sitting in at 18, knowing that the house has some wiggle room there to come in and have a higher number than you, and you'd like to close that gap. This is a long-term strategy, and that's how numbers work. That's how stats work. That's how everything works. It's not about being right about everything. It's about being right more often over time by understanding things more rightly, as opposed to just going off vibes and feelings. And then when you get it right, you say, see, numbers are stupid. Huh? Okay, dude. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Heaven help us. It's Uncle Rico.
Yo, Ryan. What's up? It's your Uncle Rico.
What's up,
hey,
dude?
Randy. It's Randy.
What?
It's a long story, Randy. Sorry, dude. Something about this audio clip I listened to one time where there was this guy getting all excited because he was getting hooked up with Randy. And when Randy picked up the phone, it was Randy. And he thought it was Randy, the girl Randy. Anyways, never mind. But I just wanted to say, I think Tammy Baldwin.
Oh, here we go.
The Democrat.
Here we go.
Geez, I don't know. I don't do politics. She's some kind of Democrat in Wisconsin.
She
got
is,
the
yes.
ball rolling last year, the year before, about trying to do something with making sure all Wisconsinites could view games for free or something. So, anyways, I didn't look into it. It just popped into my brain, and I got things to do, but I wanted to call it in quick, and maybe it comes up in the pod already before I listen that far. But whatever, guys. Have a great Sunday. It's Sunday, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day, Ryan. I know you're a father. I know you're a great one. You're the best. Rico out.
Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I hadn't heard that. I haven't really looked into it outside of what we've heard so far. I don't really know much. It's kind of one of those, we'll put it on the back burner and monitor it, and I kind of just depend on whatever comes across my feed as being important information. So I have not heard about Tammy Baldwin or anybody else on the other side of this championing it. I'm guessing there's going to be several people. I don't know if it's going to be a Republican versus Democrat split, or if this is going to be a joint venture in one direction or the other. I have no idea. But certainly interesting. I saw, the heck was it? There was something about, the NFL is terrified, and I thought it was about that issue, but it's not. It was about something. Oh, it was the Rossini thing. That's what it was about. Bottom line is they got a lot going on right now, and they're sweating bullets for a couple different reasons, I think.
Yo, Ryan, it's your Uncle Rico.
Hello.
Nico, my brother from another mother. By the way, if Nico's my brother from another mother, is he your uncle as well? He must be.
That or my daddy. So.
Anyway, Nico called and said he thought with the pads, no pads on, that the defense has the advantage. I guess I got to put some thought into that, but I always thought it was the offense that had the advantage. I thought all the offensive guys look great with no pads on because the defense isn't able to, there's no sacks, there's no tackles, there's no, there's none of the physicality. So I always thought the offense had the advantage as far as looking showy, the big catches downfield because there's no real risk of getting sacked or anything. You know what I mean? So, anyways, just a thought. Love you, Nico.
Weird.
Let's debate it. It's a debate. Let's sit down and watch film. I'll meet you. You're in Idaho. I'm in Wisconsin. We'll do the halfway thing. I don't know. South Dakota? I'm not sure. Rico out.
Tell you what, I'm not going to look it up, partially out of laziness, but I like at the end there when you said, let's debate it. Why don't you debate it? Or pick a more interesting topic and debate that. Could be an option too. Look, I know we're all friends. I know we're all, for the most part, a big happy family here. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Like I've said, I wouldn't mind a little bit more adversarial tone toward me although that can get ugly sometimes. Whatever. Do whatever you want to do. I mean, you guys could also talk it out, debate it out, fight it out. Whatever. It's your show. You do whatever the heck you want. Uncle Rico has demonstrated very clearly this is his show and he's going to do whatever he wants. I have put up no guardrails up to this point, and he's gonna push those limits, I think, a little bit. Jared, what's going on, buddy? I don't think I can call you Jared the Uber driver anymore. Which I just have you down as Der Trader here, so I don't need to call you Jared the Uber driver anymore.
Howdy, this is Jared Trader from Texas, and just want to wish all the dads out there Happy Father's Day. You too, man.
Thank you.
I'm sure they all gave you little gifts and everything.
Oh yeah.
Mine included artwork, and a random taste test, which was pretty fun. Figured out I did not like Diet Mountain Dew cream soda. That was not great. But anyways, I'm glad that my recommendation for that Speakeasy podcast was great, baby. Go put it on your bed. There's a diaper promotion right there for you. But glad that the Speakeasy recommendation ended up being almost the whole episode. That's kind of nuts. But yeah, no, I haven't called in a minute, but this off season's been kind of weird with all the trade rumors, man. I heard about Jadavian Clowney, and obviously Josh Sweat, but I don't know what all is going to happen, but it'd be cool if we did do a trade for somebody, just to not because I don't believe in Brendan Cox or I'd put it on the okay, she's putting it on the bed now. But like do you have any like undrafted free agent standouts that you think might make the team? My bet, one of them is Nigel Kelly. I think he is a gem. Anyways, let me know. Have a good day. Have a great Father's Day. Go Packer.
Well, I haven't really dug into that yet. I usually that's kind of a training camp kind of a deal. Kind of see who's standing out, who's looking good. So I don't have any UDFA type prospects right now that I've considered as top guys, but that would be somebody that would be pretty important. Hopefully we won't need him. We've got enough draft picks. We got the 2 4th-round picks and Cox and whatnot. But can never have enough pass rushers, as the old saying says. All right, final break. Got Nico on the other side. Be right back.
Ryan, how the heck are you? This is Nico from Southern Idaho.
Hi.
I did have to work on Father's Day, but that's okay. I still got my white treats. So I was just kind of thinking, you know what? Side note, here's why Goody is playing like 7D chess. And of course I'm kidding. This is all stupid, but you know what? It's my way my brain works. I think you guys know. He is so good. He's actually able to draft these people with elite talent. And then right before they kind of are supposed to get paid, they have an injury. Then we kind of get them on a discount. Because let's face it, if Watson never gets injured, he's getting a $200 million deal with $30 million a year guaranteed. You know, Reed, if he never got hurt, it would maybe not make $30 million, but he would have got a massive, way bigger deal than he got. But then Kraft, I don't know if they're going to be able to limit him, but I think he might get the bag. But still, even with Watson and Reed, two people that are going to would have consumed way more of the percentage of the cap are going to be receiving way less. And of course, Goody knows that they're not going to get injured anymore. So from now on, they're going to be like a elite quarterback on this rookie deal. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's a joke, but
brilliant
I think
strategy.
getting the dude that has a down year but in college, drafting a guy that maybe his senior year was partly injured or whatever, didn't play as much, but then his junior year was banging Mike Reed. He's done it with a few other people. I think that's kind of a cheat code. Anyway, I was wondering, So, what's his face? Watson just got $31 million. And I know all of us that don't have millions of dollars, we go, wow, that's awesome. Oh, excuse me. So I asked my buddy, my robot buddy, if you get a $31 million pay.
Sound like me.
What do you actually bring in home? And you live in Wisconsin, Green Bay. Funny, he did say, that sounds like an NFL, pay. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty smart. So, tax breakdown, federal income tax, 36.9%, $11.45 million, right to Uncle Steele, Bonnie and Sam. Wisconsin state income tax, 7.6%, $2.365 million. FICA, 2.4%, $739,000. So the estimated take-home pay for $31 million is $16.45 million. Now, granted, that's still a whole chunk of change. And if Ryan, if I give you $16 million, I guarantee you that would change you, your kids, and your kids' lives forever. Still, the freaking government took half.
Yeah, it's annoying.
And they're gonna burn. There's the sad thing. The government will burn through that half in like 5 minutes. Anyways, I'm in a good mood, as you can see. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, it's weird to think. I always say that they're never just going to let guys go. They'll find a way financially. It would have been interesting to see how this all worked out if there weren't all the injuries with all the guys that we've got to pay this year and next year. That would challenge my my notion on that issue that they would never just let a guy walk. They're always going to pay guys if they want to pay him or if they believe they belong here. That would be tough. If Watson got what he was worth and Reed got what he was worth and Tucker gets what he's worth and Wyatt didn't get hurt and gets what he's worth, then you've got, those guys didn't get hurt, so they're probably going to get what they're worth. But yeah, it's a lot of money, and it would be tough to pay everybody. As much as I always kind of mock that mentality of how are we going to pay everyone, that would legitimately be pretty tough. So as much as I know you're kidding and whatnot, I mean, we kind of did catch a break. It really is just a matter of, can they please stay healthy? Because then it is the ultimate accidental masterclass if we can do that. Bramble, what's going on?
Packy.
What's up, dude?
I can't. I was going to call and go in on the Poors, not been able to watch football, and I love you all. Have a great day.
Well, he called back, so we'll see if he did. I thought he said LaFleur at first, and then he said the Poors. That's freaking hilarious. What's up, dude?
Packy, Bramble again. I don't want to get involved, but I do want to say that Scott Fitzgerald is the main opponent to medical marijuana in the state of Wisconsin. So, on top of being an anti-Packers guy who's trying to get them moved probably to Chicago.
Sure.
Maybe the Packers can occupy the Bears Stadium now. Just kidding. Anyhow, he's the guy. Rico, take a break, bro. Bye.
I'm pretty sure I see where you're at on that, but at first I wasn't sure. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. It's fair play, man. We've opened the door, so I think we got our first debate, and it's going to be politics right here on the Packernet Podcast. Oh, good. It's Uncle Rico. That was fast.
Yo, Brian, it's your Uncle Rico.
What's up, dude?
It's Monday morning. I just want to let you know I'm taking the day off because my cat died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
LOL.
Oh, you
okay.
jag off.
So, yeah, I
genuinely thought your cat died. I was like, I'm sorry, bro. That sucks. Freaking idiot.
Yeah, I'm going to admit I couldn't get through that podcast about that one where you talked about the different types of personalities and feelings. I couldn't get through it because A, I don't give a shit, and 2, I don't give a shit. So A and 2, you get it. Anyway, so back to that. Your cat died. How is staying home from work helping? How is that helping you? You're going to stay home and mope around about your cat. look at cat pictures, reminisce about the time your cat purred and you stroked its little tummy, and now it's dead. Get over it. I mean, not helping. I just don't get it. Like, I get it if your dad dies. You stay home, you spend some time with your family, but when Brett Favre's dad died, he got his ass to work, and he won some football games. That's what we're talking about, okay? Okay, guys, let's get to work. Let's win football games. If it takes somebody dying to do it, then let's get her done. Rico out.
Sorry you didn't like the show, but yeah, I mean, that is a fair point. I mean, what are you doing? It's kind of the same with, like, when we had our kids, and it's like, are you going to stay home or whatever? I mean, it's of course you'd like to stay with the baby, but I don't have anything to do. There's no reason I can't go to work. I might want to be home because there's a baby there, but my wife doesn't really need me, So she's fine. So I would kind of just be like lounging around the house. I mean, I could help. I could always help. That's always an option, Could always help around the house or do some stuff, but it's not really the point. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever. Apparently you hated that episode, so we don't need to really delve back into that. Daniel from California.
Yeah, I was thinking about like how the Aaron Banks signing came to fruition. And it's kind of an interesting deal because if you look at what the Packers like generally do, they actually do get centers to be centers. Like there's been a couple times where they filled in guards in that spot, but they don't mind just getting centers. Like they drafted Lindsley and he just got put in there. It's like it's something that these guys actually do. Like it's not like where the rotating Sean Ryan in there is like the standard. It's like maybe 50-50. They're okay with both, but I think the miss on Josh Myers and it's interesting because Josh Myers, like they love Josh Myers. He always graded low, and he's kind of a similar grade to Aaron Banks, whereas like they don't agree with the consensus of PFF and some of these other advanced metrics.
Sure.
They have their own thing that doesn't really line up with what the public has access to be able to get a subscription on. But I don't know if because I think they thought it's just easier to get a guard than it is to draft a center and have them hit. So they just we're just going to slide our guy we know is good in that spot who hasn't played center in 7 years or something, and we're going to slide him in, and we're going to just go get somebody that is a baseline player at guard, and all of it kind of stems back for the Creed Humphrey thing because they chose the athleticism of Josh Myers over Creed Humphrey, and I've always been the guy that's just like
it always comes back to Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, I know this stuff's hard. You have your models, you don't want to stray from your models, all that stuff, but it's just I wish they would have just kept Elton at guard and then drafted a center last year.
I wish they would have kept him at tackle, to be honest.
Because they did get tackles and all that stuff. I know they already had Morgan and they had Rasheed Walker that was on the edge of everything. And it's all doing stuff after it's all the dominoes that fall. It makes it easier for me, but I don't know. It seems like typically what the Packers would do is they would just draft the center again. But because they missed on Myers, maybe that's why they clutched their pearls and all right, well, we're going to do this because we just want to get some stability for a bit, and we're going to just move Jenkins. And it was the wrong move, unfortunately. And they probably didn't expect him to get hurt because nobody would expect anybody to get hurt. But I hope they don't keep just moving the chips. Just trying to all right, well, that didn't work and we're going to do that. Just make them.
He got cut off and didn't call back. But, yeah, the offensive line thing is, I mean, there always seems to be a thing that's got Gutekunst on the hot seat, right? Is well, Jordan better be good, and then he's good. And it's like, okay, well, then, somebody, okay. And then, this, obviously we had, the whole those 2 draft classes worked out quite well. So that staved off a little bit of anxiety. And then you go get Micah Parsons, and that kind of reinvigorates everything. But now he's back on the hot seat, maybe more metaphorically than literally. But the big thing that has us all kind of looking at him sideways is the offensive line. That is to say, if things go positive, congrats, you're still a genius. If they don't, then you really botched this, and I'm angry with you. Because we've made a lot of swings, and so far, Morgan has not panned out, Belton has not panned out, Sean Ryan has not panned out. You can go back to, as you said, Josh Myers did not work out. You brought in Aaron Banks. That seems like a flop. So, I'm looking at it going, hey, Morgan needs to be that dude at left tackle. Banks needs to be way better than he was last year. Sean Ryan, I don't know. It would be nice if he gets better, but I think he's been kind of the same guy for a while. Belton has to be significantly better than he was, and hopefully can just at least be starter level good. I'm not going to blame you, obviously, if Zach Tom has some issues with injury. That was obviously one of the big hits, but I mean, it's been swing after swing after swing after swing after swing here the last couple of years, and I'm not saying they're all bad because there's a lot of question marks, but there's been 0 positives that have come out the other side. So we got to start getting some wins here on the offensive line. I have relative confidence in Morgan, not necessarily that he's elite. I hope so, but just that if I had to guess, he will be, I don't want to project what he's going to be, but I think at a minimum, I would say that I think we're going to get a Rasheed Walker level, and I don't mean last year's Rasheed Walker, I mean maybe prior to that, as sort of a baseline. If he ends up worse than that, then we're in serious trouble. So fingers crossed that we got some studs there. I mean, Banks and Belton and Morgan are the 2 biggest question marks right now. Obviously, you got Jagger Burton as well. We'll see if anything comes of that. Just another swing. Hopefully not a swing and a miss. All right, I'm going to get out of here. And we'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.